Well, it's the last day of the trip, and it was troublesome to say the least. After getting ourselves packed up and ready to go, we left our stuff with the staff. They actually give you a little slip. Basically, you write down your name and signature, whatever, whoever had booked the hotel, and what time you'd be back. So we're like, well, we'll be back by 5 because we have to get a train at 6 o'clock. We have to be at the airport by 6 because we have a 9 o'clock flight. And in terms of weather, it was a bit drizzly, but we still had our umbrellas and everything, so it was fine. But we got the train to Kyoto, actually. It was suggesting instead of going through the Osaka loop to go around the base of Osaka to get to Nara, we caught the train up to Kyoto and then caught an express to Nara, which, because we were running late after having had breakfast and everything at the cafe there, it was definitely better to do that. It was still like 12, $15 to get the ticket to go to Nara for the express, but it was a lot quicker because it was still like a 40 odd minute train rather than an hour and a half. So that worked out fine, easy to get there, easy to buy tickets and whatever, but you couldn't use JR Pass, you just had to actually buy a ticket. But again, reserved seats. The lady walked us straight to the train because we were like, we got to get this train. She's like, all right, well, let's do this. We got into the line. She told the guy, we gave the money, easy peasy, just chucked it in. I'm like, Helene, let's get the hell out of here. Put the tickets in. She walked us straight there. It was wonderful. She was really good and really quick at getting us there. We basically had 5 minutes to pay for the ticket and get to the train and get onto the train. And we managed it in that time, which was fantastic. And yeah, we went to Nara, where it was nice again. The weather was still decent. It wasn't as rainy as it was the day before, but we still had our umbrellas out. And there was a lot of deer. Obviously, we walked up to the temple, which had the giant Buddha, which we didn't see in the end because the whole day I was really sick. I was incredibly sick the whole day, exceptionally dehydrated. I had so many layers on, I was sweating profusely. It was awful. I needed to hydrate and I couldn't because we couldn't get enough water, we couldn't get enough food. I'm pretty sure I was having some kind of a reaction to the milk I'd been drinking as well. Because I had 2 little things of milk in my coffee, and I think that was really screwing me up because it had screwed me up on the Wednesday prior on our way to Osaka, which luckily the rest of the trip was fine. It was just this last day, and I'm like, yeah, this is really bad. So it was a real struggle. I felt like I was so dehydrated, I was dizzy. Turns out I had a bad case of basically just diarrhea. I was just in awful condition. One of those things that, again, you just get like gastrostop or something, but I didn't have any, and I didn't know that you could just go and buy some stuff there. It was one of those things of, it's been such a long time since I've had this kind of a thing that as an adult I haven't had it, so I can't remember how to deal with it. So we just persevered. What a great idea. Not a great idea. So we didn't go to the giant Buddha, even though we've both seen it before. I went with Dad last time, Helene went with her mum, but we still got to explore that. We got some street food, which was nice. I had a hot dog on a stick, which was great. Bought some treats and some lollies and whatever. So we still made the best of what we could despite my ailments.
Okay. Okay, this one now. Okay. Hey, hey, hey.
Give it the food, Helene.
After seeing all the deer and everything, we walked back to the train station, which wasn't bad. We were definitely there for a lot longer than anticipated. And we just caught the train to Namba, which again, you just had to buy a local ticket. Got off at Namba and walked around for a very long time. We tried looking for a KFC that Helene wanted to go to. We couldn't. We found a 7-Eleven, had lunch there instead. About 2 minutes later, we found the KFC, so Helene still bought some KFC for herself and had it there. She said the Australian one was definitely better. because Namba station has so many layers, we couldn't find the station we needed to go to, and because of how I was feeling, I really did not want to be there. She was really concerned about my health, as in Helene was. It was just a really bad just day in total, and she was really hoping that something good would happen because she didn't want the last day to be spent with me in pain and then some deers. She got chased by some of the deers. I didn't get footage of it because I was just like feeling so awful. I got some footage of her feeding the deer before they chased after her and she screamed and ran away, which was very amusing. But either way, we got back to Namba. Still found some stuff at some stores because this is basically the last buying stuff kind of day. We had plans to go to the My Pig Cafe and some other stuff, but I was in such bad condition. We wanted to go to, it's not Nipponbashi, we've been there already. Dotonbori, we wanted to go to that really long street along the river, which is really only good to go to at nighttime. We were going to go there on the Osaka day when we first got there, but we spent the day with Adam and Joshua instead, so we didn't go there. But we've both been there before, so it's kind of like, do we want to relive this, or do we want to do other things? And we kind of were forced to do other things in the end, like not with Adam and Joshua. I really liked what we did with them. And the last day we were going to, but again, it was rainy, it was pretty shitty weather. It probably wouldn't have looked great to have been there anyway, so I didn't get much footage of the day outside of being at Nara, and again, I felt so awful. But then it was just okay, once she's done at KFC, we're getting the hell out of here. We went back to the hotel, eventually found Namba Station, the one that actually took us to Umeda, then we had to go to Osaka Station, then we had to catch the train to Kishibe, got our stuff. I had more food, I had a banana, I had some water, I was still in really bad shape. But I'm like, okay, we either walk 20 minutes to go to a station that leads us to another station that takes us to a monorail to the airport, or Helene leads the way. And by this stage, I didn't have any internet, because I had activated the internet on the first day we were there, which was day 11. So, what was meant to be day 0, and which made the Sunday, the last day, day 11, which wasn't meant to be day 11. I had 10 days of internet. I had 10 gigabytes of internet to use over that time, and I didn't use that. I used a good portion of it, but there was a lot of free internet to use. At Nara, there was a lot of free internet, which was great. So we had to deal with that in the morning, where I had a free 500 megabytes that I was able to activate through Klook, after having bought tickets for the Team Labs a week earlier. And Helene had a 3 gigabytes to use that day, or 5 gigabytes to use, so she activated that. So we basically relied on her for the internet, even though by the time we got to the airport, I hadn't even activated my 500 megabytes, so I only used it while we're at the airport. But I got her to guide the way because the stuff was heavy, I was feeling awful, and I was still only carrying my own stuff, and she was carrying her own stuff, so we were still able to manage with that. Got a bunch of elevators to places, especially at Osaka Station and whatever, even at Kishibe Station. And Helene was like, okay, we got to go to Osaka Station. There'll be a train on this. Actually, maybe it was Shinosaka. But it was basically, we catch I think it's called Haruka. It's kind of a bullet train. It's a special type of train that takes you directly to the airport. And honestly, I think maybe the day was better because she was guiding the way, because she knew where the airport was. I didn't realize that there were 2 airports in Osaka. I thought we were going to the one north of Osaka. Turns out we were going to the one south. The one south is actually on an island just off the way, which you have to get a special train to get there. I was thinking we had to go to the one up north, so we'd have to walk 20 minutes to a station, get that train to another station, monorail to there. And I was thinking that's what we do. But we didn't, so I was like, oh, it's just disappointing, we can't catch the monorail, even though Disneyland/Sea has a monorail, so we'd already been on one. And it was amusing in a way, because if I had had internet, or was able to use more internet, if I wasn't sick, we might have gone to the wrong airport, because when we got to the station, we realized it was a Shinkansen to catch. We had to go to the non-reserve section, because I didn't realize we were catching it with Shinkansen. Then it was like coming in 10 minutes. I'm like, well, there's reserved over there. We'll go to the non-reserved. And when it showed up, because I could have bought reserved, but we were fine. Again, they just checked, and we had JR passes, so we were able to, when we were already on or whatever, they checked us. After we had taken off, the guy came through to check us and check our tickets. It was the Hello Kitty train. But not the special Shinkansen Hello Kitty. This was the one that had some images of Hello Kitty on the front, but it was mostly when you got in, it had Hello Kitty on the seats and on the walls. So it was like that's the last good thing we get. You know, because Helene wanted one last good thing to have a last good happy memory of the trip, so it wasn't just the last day was I felt like shit and also dear. It was, hey, look at that, it's Hello Kitty on a train. The special Hello Kitty Shinkansen, which terminates next year, is actually a proper bullet train. You got to book for that. It's expensive. We didn't bother with any of that stuff. We didn't know how to. If we could have, we probably would have, but it doesn't matter. But this one was great because we'd been seeing this the whole time we were in Osaka, and I really wanted to get more footage of it. And we got in one, and I'm like, holy shit! So yeah, we got in there, put our stuff away, grabbed some seats, was able to look out the window despite it being nighttime by the stage, so there wasn't much of a view. It was after the guy came by and we had our JR passes, other people had tickets, non-reserved tickets, but still tickets, that we were okay to be on the train and everything, that I realized, I'm like, shouldn't this be like a 20-minute trip? We'd been on the train for like half an hour by that stage. And I looked it up and I'm thinking, we're going the wrong way. The airport's the other direction. So I mentioned this to Helene. She's like, no, we're going the right way. And she showed me the boarding pass, which she had on her phone. And it told you which train station to go to. And it was like, what airport? And it was the other airport, which I didn't know existed. So again, the benefit of her guiding the way, because she knew exactly where we were going, which she knew the final destination where I didn't. I was under the complete opposite interpretation because she'd booked the plane tickets. So I didn't realize that the plane tickets were for the other airport. I think the one that I was thinking of was more of a local airport. This one was an international one, which was a lot better. We went straight there on the train. It was a good, easy train ride. By that stage, I was feeling somewhat better because I'd eaten, I'd had water. We got to the airport. We had to do all the check-in stuff. Just everything you got to do for airports, airport security and whatever. I had the umbrella still. I wanted to keep it. They were like, yeah, you can keep it. Just empty out your water bottles. We weighed our bags. I had 18 kilos in my bag. I put in an extra 600 grams into my bag from what was in my tote bags. Turns out my beard oil had opened up whilst I had put it in the bathroom bag, so it had leaked into the bathroom bag, so the whole bag smelled like my freaking beard oil. So I screwed that back on, wrapped it in plastic bags so it wouldn't leak any further, and it was fine, because let's be honest, the rest of the bag smelled like dirty laundry, so I'm like, oh, what's worse, the smell of dirty laundry or the smell of beard oil? At least the beard oil smells nicer, and you can just spray it out with deodorant later when we get back home and let it air out, which I did, because it was my brother's suitcase. But it worked out in the end. We were able to put the right amount of stuff into our suitcases. We had plenty of carry-on luggage, so we had room for everything. I had a tote bag, my backpack, my umbrella, my suitcase. Helene had 2 suitcases and a tote bag. And yeah, we got in. It was easy. Their whole system was really easy to work with. We luckily ended up on a counter, which actually had a person working there, not a machine, which was just so much nicer. Because we had somehow Helene had printed out too many tickets, labels for our bags. So the woman just put that all on, put them through. We went through duty free, got some alcohol, as you do. I had a bunch of cash left on me. So I'm like, I'm going to spend as much as I can at duty free. I bought an Evangelion figurine. I bought a bottle of alcohol for my mum. And yeah, then we just waited and caught our flight to Cairns. They had a vending machine where we were waiting for our flight, so I was able to use a bunch of my coins because I had like $10 in coins, maybe 5 or 6, but I used a bunch on 3 bottles, so got some water, got some soft drink to keep us going. Got on the flight, 9 o'clock flight, got out of there, was able to watch part of a film, had some dinner. They gave us whatever we'd ordered earlier, so I had a toasted sandwich. And yeah, my criticism of the flight, because it was Jetstar on the way home both times, was that, hilariously, they left the lights on the whole time. It's a nighttime flight. We had to get up. When we arrived, it was like 4 a.m., maybe 5 a.m. So it's like, this is like a 6-hour flight, and you're leaving the lights on the whole time. So they left the lights on. That was terrible. I didn't have my blindfold with me anymore. It was in Helene's suitcase. So we put face masks on our eyes so we could sleep. Noise-cancelling headphones, played some music, easy peasy. Got to Cairns, waited about 4 or 5 hours for our next flight. And then a 3-hour flight, and we were back in Melbourne. And then I just took the train back home. So that was the whole trip. it worked out well enough, despite again the some public transport issues and the fact that I got sick on the last day, which turns out really easy cure. I went to the doctor the next day, and it was just, oh yeah, just take this medication, you'll be fine. Just regular pharmacy stuff. You didn't even have to. I didn't even have to go to the GP, but she was very quick, so it was easy peasy. And I've been good ever since then, which is great. So, you know, you have all the things you prepare for. We had gotten flu shots and COVID shots, everything to make sure that if we got sick in any particular way, we would be covered. And it was like, oh, turns out you could still get diarrhea. So, what a way to end the trip. But it was nice. I definitely would still recommend going to Japan. I would still love to go back again, especially because this was 10 days, 5 in each city, technically 4 in Osaka if you count the fact that we spent a whole day in Kyoto. Yeah, there's so much you can do. You can spend so much time in each place that if I did go back again, I would love to go during maybe the winter season where it's all covered in snow. I have a friend who went there earlier this year, which inspired me to go this time around during what was meant to be more of an autumn period, but we still had enough heat, enough summery days because it was a tropical storm just before we went. But aside from that, it all worked out really nicely. The weather was beautiful for the first couple days. Even the Monday, Tuesday at Disney Seas and Hakone was cloudy with a bit of rain, but it was still fine. Like, we didn't have to worry about the rain on the Disney Seas day, and then Hakone was rainy, but it was mostly mist, and that made it look really beautiful. It was piercing down the whole Wednesday on the way to Osaka, which was fine because we were out of Tokyo within a couple hours. The Thursday at Universal, the weather was beautiful. The Friday was great. The Saturday was good for the first half before it pissed down for the rest. And then the Sunday was decent weather. Humid with a bit of rain, but it worked out in the end despite my health. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all. Feel free to check out my earlier video I posted, which was my haul, going through every single day and what I bought. And that's it. Thanks for watching this 10 to 11 part series. I might do some montages of the footage coming up in a week or two. Whatever I can that doesn't involve copyrighted footage or copyrighted audio. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Adios. Or sayonara, sure. I know someone's going to mention the fact that I didn't say sayonara in a single goddamn video. And it doesn't hurt to also pick up some of the language so you can say thank you and everything. So, yeah.